All right, what is up, guys? Welcome in. You know what today is, Trainer Talk Tuesday, and I feel we got a good one here for you today. Something that is pretty common within the fitness industry for a lot of people. When I say the industry, I'm talking about just general folks working out and trying to better their overall quality of life and just improve upon their health. Something that's just very common, something that we all run into. I know I've experienced it personally in my life, so I just wanted to kind of talk about what are some things you can kind of do here.
Yep, guys, so welcome in. Today we are going to talk about how you can be an inspiration instead of a nuisance when it comes to leading a healthier lifestyle. So guys, we all know that whether it's a healthier lifestyle or anything new in your life, when you get really passionate about something, you want to tell the world. And not only do you want to tell the world, you want the whole world, especially your loved ones, to jump on the train with you. And oftentimes we expect people, especially the ones that are closest to us, to just follow suit with what we are doing with zero hesitation. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't go that way, guys. A lot of times you'll get resistance. You might have people feeling some animosity towards you. And so we really want to give you guys a few tips on how to avoid that and be more of an inspiration instead of annoying your loved ones with this new journey.
Yeah, and like I said at the start, very common to happen. It's pretty similar to faith. When people come in and they find themselves, like they find a level of faith and they start to believe in, something bigger than themselves, and they get really wrapped up and confounded in it, and they want to share that news. They want to share that information, that good feeling that they have by leading that new lifestyle. But it's never really received well from the outside in, because some folks just have to be, ready to receive that information or just that amount of change in their life. So I guess jumping into the tips here right off the bat, because there's no other way to really go on without jumping into it. So the first tip that we have for you guys is pretty self-explanatory. Lead by example. Let your actions speak for you. So instead of talking to people about that new experience, and I know when we're doing it, because like I said, I know this from firsthand experience. So it's not that we're trying to talk down to someone like we're bragging and what we're doing is better than what they're doing. It's just that you have found an overwhelming level of success in it. It's something that you probably thought that you couldn't do or you was reluctant to do prior. And when you started doing it, you got such a good feeling. You got such good feedback from it that you just wanted to share it with everyone. But what happens in most cases is when you start to share it versus just letting your actions speak for it, people start to feel looked down on. I mean, it's just natural. They start to feel like the things that they're doing isn't good enough, and they're maybe not ready to put themselves in a position that you put yourself in, and they feel bad about that. So that kind of goes back on you, and it kind of makes you feel bad in return, I guess, about sharing that good news. So guys, just let your actions speak. And just like everything else, if you got your head down and you're focused on what it is that you need to do, I think today we like to call it having tunnel vision. Trust me, those people around you, they'll see it and they'll be attracted to it naturally. And then they can be, led to that lifestyle and those decisions on their own, just based off what they're watching someone close around them do, who they know that this wasn't an easy thing for you to start to do in the first place. And then not only was it not easy for you, you started it and you're getting good results back. So they'll want to follow after a while. So you don't have to say anything. Your actions will do all the talking for you.
Yep, absolutely, guys. The saying that actions speak louder than words is 100% true, especially in the scenario that we're giving. So not really much to expand on there, guys. Just when we're talking about a healthier lifestyle, even don't let your actions just be shoved in their face either. Just live your life how you would. You don't have to upload everything on social media to tell everybody. Not saying that you can't ever do that, but you don't have to narrate your entire life for everybody where that's all that they're getting. So just be authentic, be genuine. If you're eating healthier, people are going to notice that.
Yep.
If you're working out more, people are going to notice that, and let the results speak for themselves, meaning how you treat other people, because if you feel good, then you treat other people good. It's just common sense, guys. And by how you look. So obviously there's going to be probably not only the mental and spiritual changes that are going on from leading a healthier lifestyle, but you're going to have physical changes as well. And people will notice that without you rubbing it in their face, without you telling them about it, without you showing them. They're going to notice. The ones who need to see it and who need to notice it will, and the ones that don't, they're not ready for it. So it doesn't matter either way. So yep, lead by example. And that kind of takes us to number 2, guys, which is you need to meet people where they are at currently. So that means let them come to you, you don't pursue them. So that's kind of what I just said, guys. You don't need to go out of your way. For example, obviously, guys, everybody has loved ones in their life. So take, for example, husband and wife scenario here. If, I'm on a new plan of leading a healthier lifestyle and I want my husband to join me naturally, right? It's not going to go over well if I am constantly going to him saying, hey, get up off the couch, let's go to the gym, let's go do this, let's go do that. How about you eat this? No, don't eat that. You can't have that anymore. That's not going to work, guys. So again, let your actions speak for you and let your loved ones come to you. You do not pursue them. They are going to take notice, and when they are ready, they will come to you.
Yeah, and again, just like faith, and again, this kind of went up under number 1. This topic today was something that, again, when we were thinking about it, it's just like, you know what, this is something we experience a lot. There was no real research that needed to go into this topic. We're just speaking off of what we've seen since we're being in the industry and what we've seen in our personal lives by just us just trying to be that shining example, and just also early on with it, just wanting to share with everyone what it is we were doing. But we came to find out real fast, just like people find out when they are brought into a new faith, they find out that sharing that, like you taking that news to them, you taking that information to them, it doesn't go over the same as when they come to you. So again, just like I said, you lead by example and just make them want to ask questions and want to know, hey, I noticed this change, this positive change. I know they've been doing this. Well, then they're going to want to start to ask you questions. And that's what we mean when we say meet people where they at. Let them come to you, let them seek you out and start to ask those questions. And then from there, you can start to go ahead and knock down that wall now that they have opened themselves up and they're now, receptive to the idea of trying to do what it is that you have been doing for that, past time.
Yep, guys. And I think you can kind of compare this to a scenario, whether you've been in it or maybe you've seen your kids in this position where, there's a girlfriend and boyfriend scenario and the girl is trying to change the boyfriend and she, is doing all these things, going out of her way, hoping that his actions will change. And we all know, guys, especially parents, or you guys have been through this if you're older, that just doesn't work, right? Because people will only change if and when they are ready to change. Another person cannot dictate how someone else lives their life. So that's all we mean, guys. Let them come to their own choices. If they want to change, they will. And if they don't, they won't. And that is not on you. So remember that.
Yeah, moving on to number 3 here. So with those first 2, we kind of spoke about, the inspiration side of things, like how to inspire people, how to kind of set the tone in a positive manner for that change to happen. So moving on to number 3, let's talk about, a little bit of what it means to kind of be a nuisance and how you can be coming across the things you can be doing. Now, the first thing, the major thing, and again, you don't know that you're doing it, but when you are working out,
you mean well.
Yeah, you mean well, but when you're working out, it's natural that your confidence levels are going to start to rise because you're going to start to feel better about how you look. You're just going to start to feel better overall. A lot of things about you are going to change in a positive manner, from your hormonal balance now to your overall physical build. So you're going to start to feel better about yourself. And when that happens, people are going to feel like you're on a pedestal. So with number 3, get off your pedestal. Never lose your learner's mentality, guys. Admit when you're wrong, all right? And what I mean by that is that always be receptive to new information yourself. Never think that at any point in time along that journey, when you're excited to share, don't think that you know it all. All right. So that's one way that once you start to talk down to someone, or you just start to speak to someone, there may be something that you say or some method that you're using right now that, because early on in that process for you, you are seeing changes, but it may not be something that's great in the long term, especially once your body adjusts to that new change. And then maybe that person that you're sharing it with, even though they're not doing it themselves, maybe they try to enlighten you about something, but you're so high on your pedestal because you're doing it and they're not. Now it's coming off the wrong way, and you're not being open to possibly still taking your knowledge on the field, or the, what should I say here? Like your knowledge on the overall, being healthier, I guess to say.
On the subject,
yeah, on the subject. Like, so now you have limited your capacity to continue to understand and just learn what it really means to be healthy. Ourselves being in this so long, we're still learning every day new ways to eat. That changes every year. I mean, when we first got into it, we were eating one way. We were even recommending it to our clients. If those clients we were working with back in 2016 was working with us today, that diet regimen would be completely different than everything we thought we knew. And we were helping folks, they were getting better, but now we feel we can help them even more with the more knowledge that we have. So keep your learner's mentality. Never try to come off as if you're on a pedestal. Again, that confidence thing that is just going to naturally rise, but just try to remember that that person isn't where you are, and they may not have that same feeling about themselves. So you speaking to them in such a manner could make them feel looked down on, and then also don't think that you know it all.
Yep, and I think this one applies to us pretty heavily, especially myself. As Nate mentioned, we've been in the business for a long time. I think I've been in the business now about 11 years. You've been in the business 7 years? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been a long time, guys. I would consider us professionals in the industry, but I mean, what was it? Just a couple of months ago, I had to publicly apologize to you guys and admit that I was wrong, because this whole scenario that we're talking about now, I got heavy on a vegan lifestyle, and I was like, everybody has to do this, and if you don't, then you just don't know what you're talking about. And I was up there on that pedestal, and I had to come down and remind myself that you always have to learn, you always have to experience new things. I will say that I've been someone that has always tested things out on my own body to see how my body responds to things before I suggest it to clients. I have always done that, and I will always continue to do that. So that's where that learner's mentality comes from. But even us guys being in the business for this long, we've had to admit when we were wrong. I actually very vividly remember a scenario when I first moved back to Indiana from Florida, and I was working at another facility before we ever opened this gym, or before we even started Never Settle Fitness. And my trainer back in Florida that taught me everything, that was really someone that I looked up to in the business, I remember standing in that gym with a client during their session, and I called him on the phone. I'm like, look, his name's Jeff. I was like, Jeff, what the heck do I do in this situation? His body's not responding to what I'm doing. It's not working anymore. I don't know what to do. And that's having that learner's mentality. My client kind of laughed at me, and I just told him, I said, look, I was, 22, 23? I don't know how old I was. When did we meet?
Man, the years add up fast.
I don't even know. Was I 22? I was 22.
It was 2012.
So was that 22? I can't do math in my head. But I think
8 years ago.
So I was 21?
You were young.
All right, look, I was 21 or 22 during this time, and I just had to remind my client, hey, I'm in my early 20s. This guy is in his 40s, and he taught me everything I know. So yeah, I'm gonna ask him, don't you want to get results? And that was just kind of how it went. I never claimed to know it all. I stopped literally in the middle of his session to ask my mentor for advice, who had been doing this industry, been in this industry for longer than I had been alive. Okay, and you guys need to get back to that mindset that no matter how far along you are on this journey, there's someone that's farther along than you. Doesn't matter how many years you put in, it doesn't matter how much you think you know, there's always more to learn.
Yep, so pretty much get off your pedestal. Just don't be a know-it-all. It's great that you are, learning new things and you're having a lot of success in that area, but just always keep that learner's mentality, always be open to just a new level of understanding. And that's with everything, even just not with fitness, guys, that's with everything in life. I'm pretty sure anybody who's wise enough, that's been around and more experienced, they'll probably, say that same thing. Just always keep your mind open to new ways, new methods of doing things, and etc., guys. So moving on to number 4 here, our last one.
Yep, number 4, guys. So if you do these 3 other steps, then the people who are receptive to what you are doing and to the change that you have made in your life, they will then come to you. And this is where you can now share your story. This is now where you don't have to let your actions speak for you completely, because they've already done that. You can actually speak for yourself, and you can invite them on this journey with you, because that door has already been opened. They have now come to you, which means that all cards on deck, you can now give them advice. You can now show them what you did to get the results that you have gotten. It opens up the door to all these different possibilities, because now they are willing to try. They're willing to listen to you.
Yep, and pretty as simple as that. Like I said, guys, this video today was pretty much just going off of just something that's very common in the industry, and we just wanted to address it because I know a lot of you are experiencing it.
We see it all the time.
Yeah, you're working
with our
out,
clients.
you are changing, you having these positive changes in your life, and you want to share it with folks, and you want to be excited about it. And on the flip side, I guess, because I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but it kind of sucks though, right? That you can be doing something that's oh so powerful and just like so satisfying for you, but you can't share it in that way because you don't want to make someone else feel bad about themselves. So I understand that side of it. But again, if you do ultimately want people around you too, because that's something we talk about, is that we know we can't work with everyone forever. We wish we could, but if we were staying true to what got us into the industry, then that means we want to work with a vast majority of people so that we can give people all these proper tools that they need to continue to keep their health in a more suitable position, versus just continuing to fall into those bad habits that we all developed over the years from our ancestors. Just, things that it's just natural for us to do. And a lot of us are trying to break those cycles. So we started it with our families for the most part. You guys are trying to start it with yours. And if you want to be able to have the opportunity to share that, then you got to remain humble throughout the process. You got to allow people to just watch you be that example that you're trying to express to them, and then let them come to you. And once all of those things happen, you lead by example. You're not on your pedestal. Now you're ready to meet people where they're at. Then you can share that story, everything that you're excited about. Then you can really open up and let them know how great, how satisfying, how rejuvenating life has been since you embarked on this new journey.
Guys, and I think that's the word of the day right there, is humble. We live in what I would consider a very narcissistic and arrogant world. And you see it all the time, like with social media platforms, right? Where we're just like constantly posting the next thing of like the highlight reel of our lives, right? And that's not the full story, first off, but I think that we live in a society that really promotes this lifestyle of you're the best, nobody can compete with you, like just like really feeding into this arrogance. And we're telling you to do the opposite, to be humble, to be kind with people, to be patient with people. And that doesn't mean, just to clarify, that you dim your light. That's not what we're saying. We're not telling you to dim your life for the sake of other people's feelings. We're not saying that. In fact, we're telling you to shine brightly, but not to flash the light in someone else's eyes. That's all we're saying. Okay?
Yep, and let me wrap this video up this way, because this is a story I constantly share with you guys on Trainer Talk Tuesday. Remember my client, Angeles Martinez, the dentist, right? And this is exactly what she did. And even though hers was more so based out of, I don't want to say, I guess I can just say fear of, being the one person, like being a difficult person in the room with her colleagues when it was coming down to decisions that need to be made about what they were going to do at lunch, she didn't want to be that one oddball, right? But she was leading a new, healthier lifestyle. She was trying to, do something different, and she didn't even know that she was leading by example, or I was trying to express to her to lead by example and not to let them suppress who she was really being or becoming in that moment, just so she can, feel comfortable with her surroundings while she was at work. I said, you got to overcome that. You got to lead by example and allow yourself to probably set the tone for everyone else around you. And that's exactly what happened. She never said anything to anyone. She didn't condemn them about still wanting the pizza or the burgers.
They
or all the
condemned
other
themselves.
things. Yeah, they saw her doing it, and they knew amongst themselves that eating that way, they knew what they felt like later on that day. They knew what the lethargic, just tired, high blood pressure. They knew what these things were. Most of them probably at risk of diabetes, if not diabetic already. They knew it. But they wasn't ready to try to make that change themselves. It took someone like Angela's leading by example, being courageous in that manner, and not being on a pedestal for her to open herself up to those people and allow them to come to her. And now all of her colleagues are eating better and making a better decision, at least at lunchtime. I don't know what's happening now. Maybe that's led further, but at least she was able to help them do that. And that's exactly what we want to do. And we say we want to allow you to, not just us help you, but us help you be able to help other people around you, because we're not going to see everybody. But if we can just help one person to be able to help another person, to help another person, and so on,
teach one, reach
we're serving
one.
our purpose.
Yep, teach one, reach one, guys. This is classic example of that. The way that you change the world is by changing yourself. You make one good decision after the other, and then, like I said, the people that are supposed to will follow, because you're being a leader. And with leaders come people who follow you and who look up to you as a role model. And ultimately, if you do that over a period of time and you teach your kids and you lead them up in a certain way, and then they lead their kids up in a certain way, that's how you start to break this vicious cycle, specifically what we're talking about of living an unhealthy lifestyle that ultimately leads to disease and early death. You can be the person that really changes all of that for generations to come. So that's it, right?
Yep.
I don't think we have anything else, guys. So that's all, guys. That's how you can really be an inspiration to the people around you, and not a nuisance. You don't have to annoy them. You don't have to go to them. You don't have to bribe them or give them ultimatums. You just have to be uniquely you and continue being you and continue working on yourself and lead by example, and the ones who feel convicted will follow, and they will ask you how you did it because they want to do it too.
Yep, it's so easy to say yes, guys. It's so much harder to say no. So when you're that one person saying no, other people around you who want to say no too but are too afraid to, they're going to want to know why you said no, and they want to follow suit.
Yep.
So
There's powers in numbers, and why not you be the first one? So,
Yep.
All right, guys, that's it. We hope you found this helpful. It's a little bit different topic, but super necessary just because we see it all the time. Like we said, we've fallen victim to it, and I swear we see it with our clients every single day in here. So hopefully you guys found value in this and that you can apply this to your own life, whether it's about healthy eating or working out. This can be applied to a whole bunch of different subjects. So use this, and that's it, guys. Take it, use it.
Use it, don't abuse it.
There you go. All right, guys, that's
Abuse
it.
the gym, though. Keep abusing the gym. Keep getting those results.
All right, guys, that's it. If you watch this on replay, go ahead and hashtag replay. Let us know that you did join in, and you can join us here next week live on Facebook, Never Settle Fitness, every Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your weekly dose of Trainer Talk Tuesday. And if you have any topics that you want us to address related to health, nutrition, holistic living, then feel free to drop those in the comments, because we would love to address what you want to hear.
Yes, we would. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy this week, and we'll see you back here then. And until that time, never give up.
Never lose hope.
And
Never settle.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.